the product will come down the line, but the process is the most important for me, and with my engagement with the people. So I started this project, the Other Story project, it's called, in 2015, where I started speaking to people in cafes or in small companies with 20 employees, let's say, in universities, in my university, in which I graduated from. And it started really by family and friends in my community, where I would just, go to people and ask them to write a story, anonymous, handwritten, and maximum A4 page long. And at the very beginning, it necessitated that I would be present with this process, right? We're a community that trusts people. We're very people-oriented, and such a collective society where community is very important, and family and friends support is crucial. And so that was primarily how it started. But then as the project ensued, I trusted that people started trusting the project. And so I developed these story collection stations, I call, that are located in different spaces in my hometown, Jeddah. So there's a concept store, Homegrown Market, that has one. Med Cafe has one. Humming Tree Community Cultural Center has one. And now, as I am in residency here, the story collection continues. So for the past 2-3 years, I developed this process, and people started, unfolding their stories gradually.
And they're very personal, some of them. I was reading them. Is there one story more than others that's present in that project that strikes a chord with you?
There's plenty of them that really strike so many chords with me. There's one about the universe and how this person starts looking at the sky and becomes moved, that, how insignificant our problems are once you look up and you feel how tiny you are. That's one that I remind myself of every now and then, because I think I need it.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the performance and hear from artistic director and curator Vittoria Mattarese.
Ainsi, les apparences ont vaincu la relation et les traditions, la raison. Et sa maladie, j'ai dû vivre avec le regret et ses peines. Par la suite, j'ai appris à vivre avec le passé.
The idea behind his performances was for them to be all under one roof in this space, to give a wide choice to the public, for them to choose between different artist profiles. So it really was a way to open up, to present these works in an extensive, at times fun and moving way. On top of that, Fatima's performance is very poetic and beautiful, so we're really happy to have her here.
So we can see that you performed that live in this tower of handwritten stories, but you could have made a video or an audio recording. Why was the ephemeral live aspect so important to you?
Intimacy. I really care about an intimate conversation, and a vulnerable one. I'm not perfect, no one is, and the stories are not, and that's why they're handwritten, to showcase that imperfection and that vulnerability. So if I just do a video, which I also do as another medium of presenting these stories, but here in Paris, this is the first time that I showcase the story collection to a foreign audience, and I wanted to feel vulnerable, and I wanted them to feel my vulnerability. It's okay that I'm Saudi, and then that there are language barriers and communication barriers that I'd also like to showcase. I also want to shed light that, these feelings are universal. Feelings of love, feelings of neglect, feelings of rejection, they're universal feelings. But once I face you and look you in the eye and tell you my story in Arabic, it's a barrier. There's a vulnerable connection also. You're vulnerable because I'm looking you in the eye, you do not understand me. And I'm vulnerable because I'm telling you a very intimate story, and I'm trying to showcase that through feelings. And that's where we meet, and I love that. We've done it 9 times in Palais de Tokyo, and it was such an a beautiful portrayal of human connection, I would say.
Well, indeed. As well as Saudi contemporary art, there are also significant developments afoot in the world of cinema, as the kingdom prepares to send a selection of short films to the Cannes Film Festival next month. You've said that Saudi culture is often a bit misrepresented by the foreign press, especially. How do you think this might help?
Storytelling would definitely help. I think storytelling can, through film or performances, whatever medium that we choose to present, is helps. And I trust that because it comes from the people to the people. There's no medium, there's no intermediate, translator trying to portray what another is saying. And I think this experience is truthful and it naturally tells a story.
Well, indeed, speaking of cinema, you yourself are very involved in that. You're an experienced performer in front of the camera, starring in the 2016 film Barakah meets Barakah. That's a modern love story set in Jeddah, your hometown. Let's take a look.
هذه عرضة الزياء ولا شكلها؟
شوف يا بركة، أنت كبرت وصار لازم تكون في وحدة تسوي شغل البيت وتخدمك، تسوي لك شماخك كل صباح.
أهلا أنا
بيبي حارب غنية عن التعريف.
Now, you play one of the main characters in that film, and the other character as well, the other protagonist, the male lead, you both have a major obstacle to overcome, which is meeting face to face as an unmarried man and an unmarried woman in Jeddah. In your experience, how do young people get around that?
Also, again, it's a process. There are traditional ways of getting to know one another and meeting to pursue marriage eventually. But I think nowadays the space is opening up. Public space hasn't been that vibrant in Saudi Arabia over the past few years, but I think nowadays with all the changes that are unfolding, public space is becoming the space where natural conversations happen between genders, between nationalities, between just people and passersby. And I think what really also helped prepare us for this is the virtual public a reality that we had thanks to the internet, I would say. This definitely had a significant contribution to unfolding this dialogue between people, classes, genders, and just citizens of Saudi. So I think it was a gradual preparation, but I think there's no need for a preparation because I think people are already ready for just a natural interaction, right?
Now, this film was a first in many ways because it was the first Saudi film to premiere at the Berlin Film Festival, the first Saudi film to be distributed on Netflix, and this year Saudi Arabia is lifting the ban on cinemas for the first time. You didn't go to the cinema, I believe, as a child, so how did you find your way into film?
We watched so many films. Saudis really exposed through satellite, through TV basically, to Western films, Egyptian films, Indian films, and so we've grown really watching a lot and being influenced by cinema. I've been very interested in European cinema, German, French, Italian, and have watched so much of that. But also, the entertainment films. So, although we haven't been to cinemas per se, as a space, we created our own. So we watch films at home. We work through limitations, and we create environments where watching films is such an experience.
So how do you think this actual cinema-going experience, which is going to be a new experience, how do you think that cultural shift will affect people in Saudi Arabia?
I think instead of traveling and watching them abroad, they will be watching them in their own hometown, and I think it's a nice way to spend one's time. It's nice to think, okay, I'm bored, but I have something to do, or I have options to choose from. I think it's a positive way to guide time and conversations and all that. And also a way to express and to understand other people trying to express. So once you watch films, you learn about cultures, you learn about interactions, you feel one another, you cry, you laugh. And, it's just a very normal kind of like unfolding of emotions. So
It can be a powerful thing, indeed.
By all means.
Well, we'll end the show with something else from the Arab world. You've flagged up an exhibition at the Arab World Institute here in Paris about the history of Egypt's Suez Canal. Now, why did that show catch your eye?
Of course, I mean, the Institut du Monde Arabe is an institution that I love and visiting always because they have beautiful exhibitions and film screenings and all that. This one particularly caught my attention because it's a historic place. It's a location that's not far away from my hometown, and through exhibitions you also learn about history, and I love that. I love that art enables this to happen. So I don't need to read a textbook. I can visit an exhibition and it would mark a memory in my head.
Certainly more fun, I must admit, than a
By
textbook.
all means.
Fatima, thank you so much for coming in
so much.
today.
Thanks a lot.
Your film Barakah Meets Barakah is currently available to stream on Netflix. We'll leave you with a little preview of that show, the Suez Canal Epic. Do remember to check out our website for more arts and culture. We're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.